have already dropped in. Okay, level up, bless up. It's nice to have you with us. A lot of NCB family there. Awesome sauce. Big up to First Tech Challenge. Yes. Let me scroll and see who else is here with us this afternoon. Nastasia, are you now hearing me clearly? I want to make sure you can hear us. Welcome, welcome. And we're just at 67 persons, but I'm hoping to drive those numbers up. With no further ado, I'm going to ask for you to watch this empowering video. It is by our Honorable Michael Leachin, who is the chairman of the National Commercial Bank Group. And I hope you will be inspired, not just to build, but to do good with passion. Can you go ahead and share the video for me, please? Continue to let me know when you come in where you're from, okay? Thanks. So we're not hearing the sound. Just confirm that you have selected the sound for me, please. So whilst we fix that small technical issue, let me ask you, drop in the chat right now, what do you think? Do you think you know everything you need to know about financial wellness? Is that a yes or no? Do you have all the answers for your financial wellness, whether you be a child, whether you be a student attending tertiary school, whether you be an adult, a parent? Do you know everything that is required to take you to that financial journey, or for you to be well financially? Drop in the chat whilst we play this video for you. Go ahead with the video, please. I'm not hearing the video, Jonil. You can unmute and let me see if that's the issue quickly. Yes, we're here now. Just pull it and just start it over real quickly. Thank you. Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. We have it for you now.
Fulfilling life. Over time, I've come to realize that a fulfilled life has three component parts. Number one, doing well. Number two, doing good for society. And number three, living a life of passion. Doing well is having enough wealth so that you can live the lifestyle that you choose, and having excess wealth that you can give back to society. Which brings us to doing good. We have to ask ourselves the question, what is our responsibility? We were born in countries that made us. We're born parents at values and serving. We're born in an era that gave us opportunities. Conversely, there are many children who were born in countries that immediately truncated their confidence. Were born to parents immediately, by virtue of having no values, no standards, expectations, truncated their confidence, and were born in an era in which there are mistakes. Therefore, we have to ask ourselves the question, do we have a responsibility to those of our brothers and sisters who are less blessed than we are? And finally, the third component is passion. Very successful people, very fulfilled people, they have a mission, they have a purpose that gets them through the inner pockets of life. The question we all have to ask is, what is my purpose? What is my mission? What is my cause? That is what gives me passion. Living a life of fulfillment. The concept is simple. not easy to execute over the long run. We have to be prepared to persevere through thick and thin. Ultimately, living a fulfilled life leads to one's legacy. Which reminds me of the story of these three stories. This passerby, having seen these three stories for day and night in this wall, decided one day to stop and ask the question, stonemasons, why are you here? Stonemason number one, his response was salary. Stonemason number two responded by saying, I am the consummate professional. Stonemason number three said, the real reason I'm here is because I'm building iron. Now, what do you think will have the fulfilled life? Stonemason number three, every brick he makes a direct connection to his ultimate legacy. Or behavior today will be our history. Make sure it's well.
All right. So I apologize for that, Lorna. You said the audio quality was poor. I'm going to drop in the chat the link to the YouTube channel so that you can actually watch it in your own time. But what was important about that message that our chairman shared was the fact that you need to start asking your question, how do you live that fulfilled life? And a part of answering that question comes with having an understanding, a foundation of what it means to be financially well and what opportunities are that are available to you. And that's why we're having this Back to Biz session on financial literacy. We know that most parents also would have, spent a reasonable amount of money sending the kids and preparing them to go back to school. Know that everything is settled, they're all in. How do you recoup? How do you start building again and try to get back in some savings? And that's why we're here, okay? So we will be answering those questions as best as we can. And let me just share my screen at this time. So we will be trying to answer those questions for you. And the good thing is that we have with us on the panel our very own Valerie Ferguson, who is the branch manager for the Port Maria branch. Okay, so if there's anyone on this call from St. Thomas, and drop some hearts into the chat. Bless up everybody from St. Thomas right now. Yes, because our very own Valerie Ferguson is here with us. Now, a little bit about Valerie is that she has been with the NCB family from 1994. Long time. All right, and she has continued to grow over the years, not just doing her regular 9-to-5 job, but volunteering and giving back to her community meaningfully. In addition, she believes and embraces Philippians 4 verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I believe it is with that I will end on Valerie, for her to come and talk with you on how you can get back to basic by understanding key financial terms, and of course, understanding how you can get started with your first NCB Start account. Now, be reminded, listeners, that if it is that you have a question, drop it in the chat. You can also use the Q&A section to ask your questions. We are here to answer you, okay? Additionally, please pay attention because we do have some giveaways in between the session. Valerie, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jody Ann. It is always a pleasure to share on this platform in this session to educate others on how to start from the basics. And I like the fact that you use that word. Now, we want to keep our presentation very short and simple, yet engaging. So please be listening in and ensure that at the end of this session that you're in for some very lucrative winning. Are you ready? I trust that you all are ready. So let me see you lighting up the chat that you're ready so that we can go into a quick, short, spicy presentation. Nothing to bore you. I'll be in and out before you know it. So today we're looking at financial literacy and how to, manage your money, how to save. You're going to hear some of those words. So let us just go right into it. Just a moment. Let me just get my presentation properly where you can all see. Okay, can you all see my presentation? Just give us a thumbs up in the chat so I can see that you're all good. So let's get right into it. So on your screen is displayed just a basic, definition of what financial planning is. Nevertheless, I know some of you already know it's really understanding how to use your various skills, including your personal financial management, how to budget, how to invest, basically how to use the income that you have, whether it be by way of salary or by way of what you earn from your daily vocation, how you actually use that money to invest, to save, to spend on your personal expenses, etc. So that's financial literacy in a nutshell. We're going to move next now to what are some of the key components that you need to know, because financial literacy, broad word talking about a lot of things, but let us narrow them down now to 5 basic components or terms that you need to know and to embrace. So we start with budgeting. What is budgeting? And can start typing in the chat if you know what budgeting is in your own little world, right? What is budgeting? Budgeting is really you penciling out, how you're going to spend your income. Maybe you are on a fixed income, fixed salary. It could be that you run a business, you budget from what you have. Some persons go by amount, someone will say, okay, I'm going to budget by percentages, and they will put a percentage here. Persons who go to church, they're Christians, they budget for their tithing, but you must always ensure that in your budgeting that you make some allocation for saving, which is another term that is going to be coming up shortly. So saving, what is saving? It's a systematic approach that you take to put down some of what you have earned for a future event. It could be that you're planning to further your studies. You could be paying down on a car, purchasing a house, etc. So saving is very important. You cannot eat all that you earn. So ensure that a part of this whole business of financial literacy that you take into consideration savings. And you'll hear more how you can start your savings account with NCB. Another key important term that you must know is managing debt. Now, debt here is the amount of money that you borrow to add assets, to take on other funds. You probably want to live a lavish lifestyle. Some persons borrow for that. Yes, they do. But managing that is always advisable that you do not take on too much debt in comparison to what you earn and what you are basically able to pay back. So for example, if you know you need to purchase a house, don't go right now borrowing money to buy clothes and to take a vacation. At least think about those types of assets that are more meaningful to your life. And you, in addition to your savings, you manage how you get to the next level. So you may want to switch taking out a loan at this time and probably use your cash to do a particular purchase, because of course, when you take on these debts, they come with interest. So if you borrow $100,000, you are going to be paying interest on that $100,000. So it is important that you know how you're going to pay for it so that you don't take on too much that you cannot manage. Another key component is investing. What do we mean by investing, and how does it differ from savings? Savings, again, is basically money you put in a savings account. You can be saving for the short term, which is within 1 to 12 months. You can be saving for the long term, which is anywhere from 1 to 5 years, but investing is now a deeper component of the whole financial picture. This is where you now look into other investment that is outside of the savings arena, and you will hear more about that as we continue the presentation. So always be thinking about the long-term aspects. So after that 5 years, what is it that what do you want to achieve? You're looking at your retirement. So those are where you think about investing for the period that will come when you cannot work. So investing is a key component, again, of financial literacy that we all need to know, no matter how young you are. You need to know these terms, you need to adopt them, and you need to start practicing them. And the final one, which is one of the very, very important, is critical. And that is because we now exist in what we call the digital space, where everybody can buy anything that they need at just a click of a button. What am I talking about? Can somebody put it in the chat? Which instrument am I speaking about? If you said credit card, you are correct, because managing credit usually comes from the use of a credit card where, okay, you're assigned a limit and you go spending. But remember, there are charges attached to this. There's interest. And if you do not repay on or before the due date of your statement, then you're going to start incurring interest. And if you don't pay that interest, what is going to happen is that it will continue building. And before you know it, you owe this huge debt by way of a credit card. And so it is important that you know the terms when you're going to take out a credit card. Ensure that your financial advisor tells you about how to use it, when to use it, what to use it on, and where you can use it. So it is very important. So let me just repeat the five terms: budgeting, managing debt, saving, investing, and managing your credit. Also, for those of you who like to go to the furniture store, how about bypassing the hire purchase and trying to get a 3 months? It saves you some money. So think about the different avenues when you're taking on these types of credit. Ask about the different options that are there and choose the best one that you think will help you to manage your money. So what do we have here at NCB that can help you? For those of you who are young, you're just about going to open your account. I know parents, you're on the line and you want to know, how do I go about getting my account out with NCB? So we do have an account for our children from they are born right until they're 18 years old. It is called a START account. And START is an acronym for Save Today and Reap Tomorrow. Save today and reap tomorrow. So the parent or guardian need to sign up with that child if he or she is between ages 0 to 14 years old. All right, what will be required is a government ID and TRN, a utility bill, or a self-stamp address envelope that shows the current address. And the opening balance is just a mere 100 Jamaican dollars. So children, you can save from your lunch money. There you're embracing one of the tenets of what? Financial planning. So you can start saving from your lunch money. And then for the child, we will need an ID that can be the passport or the school ID or a passport size photograph that is verified by a justice of the peace. If a TRN is available for the child, we'll take that. But I will encourage you to take all the TRN for the child. It helps them to better transition when they become the age of majority, which is 18, where they can now switch that account over to one of our regular accounts. We also need the birth certificate or a court order if you are the guardian of the child. It must be known, it must be said here too, that in order for the parent to open the account with the child, the name has to be on the birth certificate. So we know that there are times the father's name is not on the birth certificate. He will not be able to open the account. It has to be the mother. And the parent must be in the branch to open the account with the child. Let me just make one correction. For those who are 12 years and older, the parent needs to be in the branch to open the account with the child. Sorry, 0 to 12 years. So we do start with our children. they have that opportunity to switch their account over when they get to age 18, when they will now present a proof of their income. And of course, at NCB, we do have a one-stop shop where you can get all your banking needs. So for those of you who might need a loan or anything else that I've not covered here, you can drop it in the chat and certainly we will reach out to you. Thank you everyone for joining me this afternoon, and I trust that you all will remember. So remember those 5 steps. I'll put them back up for you to see them in terms of you getting financial literate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valerie. And I want to know, Valerie, like I have a child who is 10 years old, right? For example, how do I help them to save? Can they start saving? You think it's something that's doable?
Of course, Jody. Anyone can start saving. And I know that our children are very technologically savvy, or should I say digitally savvy these days.
Right.
They know how to do with those DIYs, do it yourself. So they can make their own savings box from anything at all that they want to, whether it be a bottle or a cardboard box. And they can take some money out of their lunch money or their allowance and drop it in that box every single week until they get to that $100. And then when they get to that, no, they can ask their parents to contact NCB. We do have an appointment scheduler online at our website, www.jncb.com, where you can go on, make your appointment, and you will be facilitated. Please read up on the internet, however, on our website, what you need to come in with so that when you get here, you can have your account open the same day.
Oh, nice. Thank you so much, Valerie. And for parents who want to reach out to you right after this webinar to say, okay, I want to open saving account for my child or children, how can they get in contact with you?
Okay, so what I will do, Jody, I will put my telephone number as well as my email address in the chat, and they can reach me either way.
Thank you. All right, so we are off to a great start. Thank you so much, Valerie, for laying the foundation for us on key terms. What is investing, what is saving, what is budgeting, and also the importance of managing credits. Now it is time for you to actually win some cool NCB gift vouchers. Are you ready? If you're ready, drop in the chat ready, because I'm absolutely ready to give away a few key items. All right, so I'm seeing the chat going. I can't see what's in the chat, so I'm gonna ask Jonil, who is here with me, to just let me know the winners for the question. In fact, Valerie, yes, you can also help me to find who are the winners as I go through as quickly, all right?
Okay.
So, all right, so the first question, let's go. What am I? I am the act of setting aside a portion of your income for future use. What am I?
Okay.
Oh, the clock is clicking.
Wow. Okay.
Go ahead with the answers. Have we found one of our winners yet, Valerie?
I think we have. Let's get the answer and we will see.
And the answer is savings. Who had won that one, Valerie?
So the first person to have put savings in it, the name is, I'm coming up with it, M. Thomas. And she placed that answer at 4:30. M. Thomas.
Right. Thank you so much, M. Thomas, for winning the first NCB gift voucher. The next one, what am I? You make me when you allocate your money wisely, ensuring that you spend less than you earn. What am I? Let's see who is going to win this one.
Chat is silent, Jody. What's happening?
It's over 100 now. I can't see anything counting
again. Let's see.
Do we have our winner?
Okay. Let's see the answer, Jody. I think we do.
There we go. It's a budget.
Yes. Wow. A number of answers. Let's see who did it first. Okay.
Yes,
let's
please.
See. Oh, so many of them, Jody. So hard to find it. Let us
all right,
see.
So
all right. Okay. So Rachel Nicola at 4:31. That's Nicola Rachel or T. I think I says Rachel Nicola T. She has answered budgeting, right?
Our next question. What am I? I make your money work for you. After a period of time, your money grows.
Oh boy.
Curious to these responses, but it's I can't see because I'm actually sharing the screen.
All right, so we're looking. Just share the answer and then I will tell you the
Answer
first
is
person.
investment. We'll take
All right.
investing as well if you have it.
Let's see who had investing first. A number of persons would have. Okay,
Or investment, anyone?
All right, so Natasha Clark at 4:32 p.m. She had the answer, investing.
Wow, she's quick.
Nastasia Clark. So Nastasia. Oh, Nastasia Clark.
Nastasia Clark. Okay, no problem.
Correct.
The next question is on the screen. What am I? This account is specifically designed for children and is a perfect account to help them learn about saving money and managing their finances.
Okay.
I think everyone should get this one correct.
It is 4:33. However, I know that some persons were putting in the answer before.
That's because they saw the screen.
Right. So I'm going to take the first one that we saw at 4:33 p.m. Zara Williams dash, I think that's an N something. So Zara Williams at 4:33 p.m. she had start. So Zara is the winner of this one.
And I want you guys to feel proud calling it the NCB start. Not just start, but NCB. All right. It's super important to us. And I think we have, is there one more? Oh, yes, there's one more question. The minimum deposit required to open an NCB start account. What am I?
Oh, the lines are blowing up, Jody. Okay, so the first person to have given the correct answer
and the answer
is M. Thomas again for $100. M. Thomas, $100 at 4:34 p.m.
All right. And now we are to the end of that activity. Thank you so much for participating, and to all of the winners of our back to basic questions. Thank you. Now it's time to hear from our very own Chantal McCarthy, who is one of our wellness advisors here at the NCB Cap Market. I wanted to speak a little bit about who she is. So Chantal McCarthy is a dedicated wealth advisor, and she's known for her unwavering commitment to teamwork, strategy, and determination in wealth management. Now, Chantal's professional philosophy revolves around creating a collaborative and inclusive environment, and she's inspired by Jane Goodall's belief that your actions have an impact and it's your choice to make a positive difference. Without any further ado, I'm going to invite Chantal to join us. How are you, Chantal?
I'm doing well, thank you. And thank you so much for that warm welcome.
Yes, and we're so excited and eager to hear what you have in store for us. So go ahead and take it away, Chantal.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, so thank you again for having me. Today we'll be exploring NCB investment opportunities. So now let's go to our why invest. All right, so why invest is a very commonly asked question. I know that Valerie would have touched on the difference between savings and investing, but when you hear investing, I want you to just understand that it's an effective way to put your money to work and to build your wealth. It has the potential to grow your money faster than inflation, and that's thanks to compounding and the trade-off between risk and return. The why should you invest is really because investments allow you to have your financial goals and objectives realized. Some of these financial goals could be purchasing a property, the continuation of education, or even retirement. So now that we understand why we should invest, we now must create an investment plan. And there are 5 factors that I need you to consider. You can go ahead and skip to the next slide. Thank you. All right, so the first factor is, what are your financial goals? So you need to identify what it is that you want to achieve. Is it just the continuation of education? Is it the down payment on your property? Is it that you just want a secondary income, or is it that you're just looking towards retirement? So the first step is to identify your financial goals. The second step is, how much money is required to achieve your financial goals? So I mentioned continuing your education. Is it $2 million that is needed? Maybe for the down payment on the property, is it $2 that is needed? You need to identify how much money is required to achieve your financial goals. The third factor to take in consideration is, how much money are you able to invest? So I know most of us, we don't have that lump sum to put down and say we're going to invest it. Some of us can say, maybe this month I can put this amount, or maybe next month I can put this, and the other month I can put this. What is that called? Budgeting. So from your budget, you can identify how much money you are able to commit to invest. So it's important that you find out how much money you're able to invest. The fourth factor is, when will you need to pay for your goals? Is it that in the next 3 years you need to pay for that master's degree? Or is it that in the next 4 years you need to pay that down payment on the dream home? For the parents on the call, don't forget you. Is it that in the next 3 years you'll have to pay the children's school fee? By identifying when you need to pay for your goals, you've actually just identified the investment tenure, which is very important. And I said that to say, oftentimes persons will lock in the funds for a specific period, and then something might happen. And even while I'm on this note, it's very important to try and supplement your investment with insurance coverage. And I say that because it's good to protect yourself in the event you get any severe illness. Let's say, for example, you invested some funds for 3 years, right? That's a maturity period. And then within 2 years, you're struck with a serious medical illness, knock on wood, right? But you're looking to that investment to pull from to offset that medical expense. And there are two things you have to note. One, you might be penalized and have to face charges when you're pulling from the investment before the maturity period. And then the second thing that you have to factor in is that maybe the product isn't liquid enough, right? So that you can get the funds to offset the cost. So try and supplement your investment with some form of insurance coverage. And I can tell you, the younger you are, the less you pay. So it's best to start from early. Another tip that I can give to you is that try to ensure that you possess an adequate savings cushion to handle unforeseen emergencies and unexpected situations. So basically have an emergency fund. Even if you have an investment, you put all of your money in the investment, try to ensure that you're diversified enough to have some funds stashed away that are liquid enough, just in case there is an emergency. The last factor that you must take in consideration is, how much risk are you prepared to take? I can tell you, as an investor myself and a wealth advisor, there is no investment in this world that there's no risk associated with it. And there are 3 levels of risk. You have low risk, medium risk, and high risk. Low risk is when basically a person is very cautious and the preservation of capital is very important. Then you have medium risk, where that person is willing to accept some level of risk for a potential return. And then there's high risk, very aggressive. That person is willing to accept above average risk for above average return. So you must identify which risk associates or relates to you more, so that you're setting your investment expectations as such. So to sum up, ensure that you plan for your investments. You need to identify your financial goals. You need to know how much money is required to achieve your financial goals. You need to know how much money you are able to invest. And then you need to know when you need to pay for your goals, so that you know your investment tenure. And then you must know your risk tolerance, so that you know how much risk you are prepared to take. So now that we have our investment plan, it is now time for us to know the various types of investments. You may skip to the next slide now. Thank you. All right, so there are two types of investments. We have variable and we have fixed here at NCB Capital Markets, and I'll start with stocks. So a stock is otherwise called equity, share, or unit. It's really interchangeable. It represents a share in the ownership of a company. Another way to look at it is having bought a slice of a massive pie. So you now own a piece of it. There are two primary ways that you can earn from stocks. You can earn through dividend payments or capital appreciation. Dividends refer to a share of profit. It's important to note that not all dividends are guaranteed. A company might actually decide to reinvest all its profits and not make payment. However, if you are someone looking for a side income or that regular income, you can actually invest in those stocks that have higher dividend yields. Those are stocks that usually pay out dividends. Then there's capital appreciation. That refers to the rise in the value of an investment over time. When it comes to stocks, let's say you buy a share at $10 and it climbs to $15. That $5 increase is actually your capital appreciation. And this is unrealized profit until you sell, then it will become realized. Meaning, if you want that $15, you have to sell the shares in order to get it in hand. At that time, it will become realized. It is important to note that stock prices fluctuate. So one day it's up and the next day it's down. And that's due to various factors like industry trends, economic indicators, global events, and even investor sentiments. And that's why we consider them high risk. So now that you know about stocks, let's move on to unit trust. So a unit trust is another type of variable instrument. It is a type of mutual fund where money from investors, which we call unit holders, it's managed by a fund manager to achieve a specific return. So let's put that into perspective for you. Let's say you're investing in a unit trust. We, NCB Capital Markets, would use your money along with all other investors' money. We pool it together and we buy assets so that you can achieve a specific return. Or asset classes stem from equity, bond, money market, and real estate, which gives you a different and diversified exposure to risk. Like stocks, this investment fluctuates due to changes in price, and you're able to benefit from capital appreciation. We have both the JMD and the USD denominated unit trust. So if you actually find yourself with some US in the bank account, just sitting there not doing anything, you can actually consider a unit trust so that it can maximize on your returns. Then there is fixed income. When you hear fixed income, I want you to think putting your money in assets that provide a fixed stream of income through interest. We have two types of fixed investments here at NCB Capital Markets. We have bonds and we have repurchase agreements. Bonds are basically investment securities where an investor lends money to a company or a government for a set period of time in exchange for regular interest payments. And then we have the repurchase agreements. I know most of you are familiar with fixed deposits. So basically your repurchase agreement is just that. You place the funds for a specific period and you get your interest and principal upon maturity. I know you're wondering, why did you include loans? I did so because oftentimes we can use the firm's resources while maximizing on our returns. And here at NCB Capital Markets, we offer two types of loan, cap loan and the cap margin. Cap loan is used for personal use. So you pledge your already existing investment portfolio and you can use that money for personal use. While the cap margin, that loan is really used for other investments. So if you find yourself wanting to go into another investment, but you don't have liquid cash and you have your investments already, you're able to take a loan on that investment so you can go into the other investment. See, maximizing on your returns. All right. So skipping to the next slide. Thank you. All right, so now that we understand why we should invest, we have our investment plan, and we know a little bit about the types of investments that we want. We're now able to start our investment journey with NCB Capital Markets, and there are two methods. The first is to visit goipo.jncb.com and select Create Investment Account. This option can only be used by those persons who bank with NCB and have online banking. All you need to do is just have your ID, proof of address, and proof of employment on hand, because you'll be required to upload them to the platform. The second method is for those persons who do not bank with NCB, which you need to speak to Valerie right after this. So the persons who don't have online banking and can't access, you're able to just visit your closest NCB branch and speak with an NCB Capital Markets representative. All you'll need: ID, TRN, proof of address, and proof of employment. On the other slide, you'll find my contact information. So if you're interested in opening or starting your investment journey, you can go ahead and click on the next slide, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so if you're interested in starting your investment journey, or if you need further information, you can actually call me at 876-551-1422, or you can send me an email at mccarthyscl@jncb.com.
All right, Chantal, that was a mouthful and that was a lot of nuggets. I mean, as a young investor, I'm like, yeah, I want to hear more, which is good. And I'm sure the parents and others joining today have the same kind of question. In fact, Rachel Nicola wanted to ask you a little bit more in terms of what is the minimum that you'll need to open an investment account.
I can honestly tell you there is no minimum to open the investment account. What you can start with. Whatever you have, you can start with. We do have products where there are minimum required for each product, but you can start stocks with stocks, and the minimum is at 2,000.
Okay.
So whatever you have, you can start.
All right, thanks for that, Chantal. And here's another question. What do you mean by liquid enough? This one is from Rachel as well.
How easy it is for you to pull funds from the investment. So, you know, like when you have your savings account, you can just say, all right, I can take $100 from a savings account. How easy is it for you to pull money from your investment?
Okay. Did that answer your question? Okay, Rachel? Just checking in on you on that one. And whilst we wait for Rachel's response, Sherwayne Hunter is asking, can I have more info on the unit trust? Can we drop a link in the chat so that he can have that? Or you want to give him a little bit more on the unit trust?
Tell you what, I can give him a lot more on unit trust. He can send me an email. I can give you a lot more.
All right, so Sherwayne, you're seeing her contact information on the screen. Her email is there. Go straight ahead and just send her a message and say you want to know more on unit trust, and she'll send you a lot of information and help you and guide you in terms of getting that up and ready. Okay, you're welcome.
Yes, sure, Wayne.
I think your presentation was very engaging for me, Chantal. But as always, I like to give back because of our wonderful audience who has been here listening attentively, right? By the way, who remembers where do you go to start your investment account? Let me see. Just drop in the chat. Who remembers that? How do you start to create your investment portfolio? What's the name of that? Yes, go IPO. Look at them, bright sparks. So
awesome.
Let's get right into a quick giveaway section. This time you'll get the opportunity to win book vouchers from Kingston Bookshop to help offset any additional costs that you may have, since we know it's back to school. All right, are we ready? So Chantal, I'm just going to ask you to look in the chat to see who got the answers correctly and let me know. All right.
Will do.
Thank you. And we're ready. All right. Okay. I hope no one saw the answer. What are 2 factors to consider when deciding to start investing? I think that was your second slide, right, Chantal? Yes, it was. You had over 5 factors there. Who can tell us what are 2 factors to consider when deciding to start investing? Persons are responding. Chantal, is there an age limit that you have to start when you're doing your investment portfolio?
I wouldn't say there is an age, because if the person is a minor, so let's say it's a child, a parent will have to be on the account, but for yourself, you'd be 18 and
nice.
above to open it for yourself.
Okay, thanks for that. All right, I think, have we identified the winners yet? And the answer?
Of course, Terry. Terry Barrett, you go, Terry.
Terry Barrett, bless up yourself. Of course, you know, it's financial goals, risk tolerance, investment tenure, amount of money needed to achieve your goals, as well as the amount of money you need for the investment, all right? Next question. Tell us one financial goal that people aim to invest towards. And it's a general question, like think about yourself. Like why would you invest, you know? I think it's a giveaway question, by the way, Chantal. Any answers coming in?
I have Alicia Drummond.
And what was her response?
House.
Oh, nice. So you are correct, Alicia, because we do have property purchase as our number 1 response to that question in terms of continuation of studies as well as your plan for your retirement. Something that Valerie always reminds us when she does a longer presentation on these financial literacy sessions.
No, Jody. I'm so sorry, Jody, but it seems it was Nastasia, because hers came in the same time as Alicia, but it's at the top for me. So it's actually Nastasia Clark. I'm so sorry, Alicia.
No problem. All right. So I've made a note of that. The next question, in your own words, what are stocks? I think we have our winner. That one was a pretty easy one.
Rachel said a piece of a pie. Innocent.
I like that.
Rachel Thompson.
Rachel Thompson, bless up yourself. See,
Rachel, the pie is the company, all right? Just remember the pie is the company.
And in basic terms, guys, it's really just a sharing the ownership of a company, all right? That's the main response. And I think we have 2 more questions. So what are the 2 types of loans offered by NCB Capital Market? This was on the second to last slide, and I believe Chantal expounded on these 2.
So it's Giselle Johnson, cap loan and cap margin.
Nice. Good job, Giselle. Thanks for listening. And finally, guys, the question is, which statement is false? Let's see who has been listening. I'll read it for those who are maybe not paying attention. A bond is a type of fixed investment. And an investor must create a plan before investing. An investor must understand and take the appropriate amount of risk, or none of the above. Anybody got this one right? Let's see. See. None of them,
Terry
guys.
did.
Terry did? Okay.
Yes, so Terry Barrett again. Back at it again, Terry.
Oh my word, that was so fun. I hope you enjoyed the session, guys. We do have one more thing, and thank you, by the way, Chantal, for being an awesome person on the call.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We do have a quick poll. We want to know how you found the session today. You have covered back to basics. You have covered just the foundation to financial literacy. And we've also given you an opportunity to understand and explore investment from what NCB offers as a start, right? So I'm going to ask Joniel to go ahead and put the poll on the screen. Please put the poll on the screen. I want to hear from everyone on this call. It shouldn't be more than 3 minutes, then we have a final task. So there it is. The poll is now on your screen. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you felt about today's financial literacy session. We will give an opportunity to ask additional questions right after you've completed the poll, and then we'll wrap it up for 5 p.m. So go ahead. Oh, that's so nice, Janelle. I like when you said that. I didn't win anything, but I learned a lot, and that was awesome for us. Thank you. We're really happy. So I hope you are all completing the poll. It should be more than like a few seconds. It's just like 4 questions. We're really happy you joined too, Nastasia. Joniel, can you just give me a count in terms of how many persons have completed the poll? 2 more minutes, guys. 2 more minutes. Nadia, you and I both. You said you learned about things you didn't know, and there's a few things that I was like, oh, okay, kind of thing right here. So that was good too. If you have completed the poll, just drop a thumbs up in the chat so that I know, so I can quickly move on to the next one. So just drop your thumbs up if you have finished the poll. Thank you, Shaniki. Thank you, Shivani. Thanks, Terry. Sure, Alicia, we'll definitely invite you. Awesome. Thanks, Deshauna. All right, so we're seeing most persons completing. I think we have a few more persons to go. We're just at 52, and we do have up to 100 persons on this call, maybe 95 at this time. So please go ahead and complete the poll. We'd love to get more responses. This will help us to make more meaningful decisions on these financial literacy sessions, okay? And these are what we're doing so that we can continue to educate persons and empower them to become the best version of themselves, whether it be owning their financial wellness, okay? Johnny, can I get an update on the numbers at this time? And persons who have not provided their contact details, who have won, please just drop it in the chat to respond to the panel or so, if you don't want to share your contact on it, so that we know that you are the winner, okay? So Terry Barrett, Nastasia Clark, Rachel Thompson, Giselle Johnson, you guys, I believe, are winners. We will contact you after this to let you know how you actually collect your vouchers. Vouchers will be distributed at the NCB atrium, but we will send you an email with the details on that in terms of how you get started with your NCB gift voucher to open an account. We will provide those details as well by email. All right. All right. So Jonia, where are we? Anybody else? All right. So you can close the poll at this time. I really want to extend a big thank you to a few organizers that made today possible. And I must start off with our guest speakers, Valerie and Chantal McCarthy. Thank you so much for being on this call and having so much knowledge for us. It was indeed a pleasure. At this time, I am going to open the floor just in case persons have any additional questions. They can ask now. It's 5:01. I want to have like 5 more minutes if you have any questions. Let us know. Valerie's here waiting to answer again. Yes. And I'm seeing Chantal as well. So let me know if you have any additional questions. Okay, here's a question from Michaela. Do you offer scholarship or grants for students wanting to study overseas? Michaela, currently our scholarship and grants program is closed, but you can always log on to www.ncbscholarship.com and view our FAQ. That does explain what kind of scholarships we offer, right? We do sometimes offer for overseas. For example, we do offer to a China-based program, but you'd be required to log on and go ahead and see what's there. All right. We'll be happy to advise for next year. Okay, here's another question, Sherwin. Can we have an investment webinar where we can go in depth in market strategies? Okay. Thank you for that, Sherwin. I'm going to make a note of that, okay?
Actually, Jody.
Yeah, sure. Jump in, Chantal.
I'm wondering if Sherwin has an account already. Do you have an account with us already, Sherwin? The thing is, we actually just started this webinar. We normally have webinars. So every month there is a webinar on marketing strategies. So he can stay tuned to that if he are, oh, you have one with surgical. Oh, you can
so
still
the question
come.
Then, yeah, Chantal, question, how does he get that detail to join that webinar?
He will have to have an account with us first.
Okay, so I think Sherwin, Chantal is going to talk to you after this, so you can get your account, your first NCB investment account, okay? So you can join.
I love that Sherwin is ready though. I love that.
Here's what is the best low risk investment? I think a lot of persons ask that question. Chantal, how would you respond to that?
The best low risk investment would be unit trust. So we have a variety. The repurchase agreement is actually a low risk investment. We have different types of money market unit trust, that are low risk. So they can look into that one. And there are some stocks, though we say that they're high risk, there are some stocks that you can actually buy that are considered a little bit low risk.
All right. So I think who asked this question? Let me just check.
Angela.
Angela. So Angela, go ahead and email Chantal your question, right? And she will share the necessary information so you can make that decision on which of the portfolios you'd like to start, and she'll definitely help you to get started. All right. I see Davon, how to go about getting a business loan from NCB. I'm going to throw this one to Valerie. Valerie, you still here with us?
Yes, certainly you can get a business loan with us, providing that your business is registered and you have your financial statements. However, I am going to ask you to send me a private email so I can engage you further. But yes, we do have business loans for persons who are in the SME market. I'm trying to find your information here on the chat. So I'm going to put back my email in the chat so you can reach out to me. But for those who are on the platform and you have a registered business, you should at least have your 2 years financials, your tax compliance certificate, and the purpose for which you would need the loan to the purpose you need the loan for. So I'll drop my email in the chat again so you can reach out to me.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Valerie. And I hope that was clear, Davon. And that's about it. There we go. We are to the end. It is our Back to Biz Building Investment Zenith, unlocking your wealth prosperity. And all, of course, we do wish you all the best in your journey to wellness, whether it be being debt-free, whether it means just living a fulfilled life, as our chairman reminded us in the video. How do we achieve that? We hope that this session will be one of those stepping stones or one of those building blocks to you achieving your fulfilled life. Thank you so much for joining, and do have yourself a good evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.